Hello there, my friend, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Disney Travel Secret Show. Rob and Kerri Stewart here, coming to you from the DMV studio right here in Orlando, Florida. This is episode number 437, original air date June 30th, 2025.
And the year is halfway over.
No!
And have you visited the Disney parks or cruises this year yet? Well, today we're going to be talking about why you should stay at one of the Monorail Resorts.
Yes. And on our next show, which will be next week, unless you're watching these in sequence, we're going to tell you why you need to choose an Epcot resort. I'd say you could also add Hollywood Studios to that one because of a few little nuances.
Yeah, the question of the day, though, is how many Disney hotels did Walt and his brother Roy actually walk through?
And the answer may just surprise you.
Hello, my friends. This is former Disney Imagineer Hugh Darley, and you're listening to Disney Travel Secrets with my friends Rob and Kerri Stewart. As you can imagine, I have plenty of Disney secrets myself, and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get this show on the road. Take it away, guys.
Yes, thank you, Hugh, because we had a blast just about a week ago when Hugh stayed at our house for a few days. How many of you can say you've had a former Imagineer stay at your house? Not too many. We have several business projects we're working on with him, including one in the pickleball space.
Yeah, he has so many great stories. I could listen to him forever. But we have an exciting announcement. We are now looking at dates for fall of 2026 for a private and very exclusive Adventures by Disney trip to the Disneyland parks. And the best part, Hugh will be joining us as our guest of honor.
So imagine this, touring Disney Imagineering with someone who worked there. I remember he was telling me that his office used to be right next door to Wathel Rogers. Look him up. So as soon as we mentioned it, he said, I'm in.
But we need your help because this trip is limited to only 40 people. So really only 37 because us and Hugh.
That is true.
And it is the absolute top of the top type of trip for any Disney fan.
And we're timing it so that it will include Oogie Boogie Bash, which is an event that I think sells out probably almost every date every year.
Yeah. So the key thing here is that we are putting together an interest list. And so before we nail those dates down, we want to know if you are serious about joining us in fall of 2026.
You know, that's a great idea. So go to creatingmagicvacations.com to fill out the form, and where it says where you want to stay, just put ABD with Hugh.
Also, we have a special shout out this week to our friend Brian. So happy 60th. We've sailed with him and his wife Jessica on our weekends on the Wish a couple of times. He's super fun and a very knowledgeable person about a variety of drinks.
That is true.
And then plus they have their awesome daughter Lisa. So happy birthday, Brian.
So actually, as of this recording time, because obviously we do these before Monday, as soon as we're done, we are going to go over to Epcot. Actually, I think we're going to go to Poly and celebrate his birthday with a drink.
Yes.
For those of you that are listening to us on your favorite podcast app, and this is, to be clear, not driving, please take about 20 seconds and do us a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Disney Travel Secrets.
Right now, we have just under 2,500 subscribers and about 5 times that number of you listen to our show every week. So you would be doing us a huge favor.
Well, and it's not just Disney Travel Secrets and videos of Disney and our podcast, things like that. You will see dozens of places that we traveled to, from the Caribbean to South America and to Europe, when we were the host of All Aboard TV on the CW network.
So yes, we were TV hosts and producers, and we even filmed a 30-minute show at Disney back in 2017.
I gotta say, it was pretty awesome having a team of Disney cast members escorting not only us, but our late cameraman, Mark.
Yeah, he was super amazing, and that was such a good memory.
Just about a week or two ago, something that just started airing on our local TV stations here in Orlando is a commercial from a law firm you may have heard of, no matter where you live in the country, maybe east of the Mississippi, and that is Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury firm in the U.S. He doesn't say it like that. Anyway.
No, he does not. But that commercial is a warning for people that use rideshare companies like Uber and Lyft, saying you never know who is driving or their qualifications.
Yeah, other than a driver's license and a pulse. But we used to use them for airport rides, but not anymore. It was, I say, somewhat reliable if they were going to pick us up here at the CMV studio to head over to MCO.
Yeah, but There was that one time where the guy didn't speak any English and he got lost leaving our neighborhood. He did not know how to follow a map.
Yeah, that happens all the time. The person not speaking English, getting lost in the neighborhood really doesn't happen that often. And I wasn't even with you on that one. Now, at the airport, getting Uber or Lyft is really a crapshoot, especially late at night. On many occasions, whether we were doing Uber or Lyft, they went to the wrong place. They went to departures, not arrivals.
Yeah, and so instead of driving back around to get us in arrivals, they just dropped the ride, wasting our time.
Or the time it took Uber that one night, 45 minutes to pick us up. It was a cold night in Orlando, like the only one of the year. It was an event downtown we were going to for the Porsche Club, and we wanted to Uber there. And it took them 45 minutes because they couldn't figure out how to get there because some of the streets were closed. Plus, there was an Orlando Magic basketball game. Very, very bad night to schedule an event anywhere near downtown.
Yeah, and then he couldn't even make it to our house without stopping at a random, I think it was a 7-Eleven or some convenience store to use the restroom.
But he was on something for sure.
He was.
Again, these rideshare companies have no way to monitor any of their drivers. And I will say none of them have a CDL because if they did, they would not be driving for Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, and that's why we only use and recommend our friend and professional transportation company, and that is Sam at Fleet Transportation.
Well, he even takes us to Port Canaveral when we cruise from there, which, I love these segues, which we're going to be there in September, cruising on the Disney Wish out of Port Canaveral with our friend Steve Hamilton on the Wish. Look him up, especially on YouTube. Look at the Hamilton collection. He is the biggest car guy that I know and probably one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. And there are still cabins available for that sailing. So come join us.
Yes.
We will have a link for that in the description as well.
Now, if you're looking for a great way to beat the heat, it's really hot here. So if you want to beat the heat on a Disney vacation after a long, hot day in the parks, we have a great idea for you.
And that is go see the Cirque du Soleil show Drawn to Life. Yeah. It is the only Cirque show in the world with a Disney theme. It's very well done.
So we've seen it twice, and we will absolutely go back again. Every time you go, you're going to see something different that will just blow your mind. So we at Creating Magic Vacations have exclusive pricing just for our clients.
And good news for you, as a listener of the Disney Travel Secrets Show, you also can take advantage of this special, and it is a 20% discount on your show tickets. The key is you have to book through us or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors.
That's why we call it exclusive.
Yes. So definitely reach out. This is a great way to plus up your vacation. And when you have had a long, hot day in the park, or maybe you've been shopping all day over at Disney Springs, it's nice to have something to look forward to where you're just going to sit down and escape. Our favorite thing, no cell phones are allowed in the theater. So you get a true experience. So we hope you take advantage of this special.
I remember talking to our contact over at Cirque and telling him that we had seen it once and that our favorite thing, no cell phones. That is so rare in this day and age when you can go anywhere and not see people just holding their phones up. And we totally love that. So,
yeah, that was so great.
Yes. So we know you like Disney trivia and some of our little travel secrets. Here's something that most people don't think about. We all know that Disneyland is the only park that Walt Disney himself actually walked through.
But what about the Disney hotels? So Walt only walked in one of them, and that is the Disneyland Hotel, which we will be staying at again in November for our annual Earmarked Agency Owners Summit.
We're excited because at this conference, we're going to be learning a lot more about Disneyland's 70th. But Roy obviously walked in the Disneyland Hotel, but he also walked in the Contemporary and the Polynesian.
And you know what? And I'm betting he probably went to Fort Wilderness Campground.
That would make sense, yeah.
Too. Yeah. But that's a cool little piece of trivia. And also, it has been so fun for us to see the evolution of the resorts when a new one is built, because we've stayed in all of them.
I know. And as we've said more times than we can remember, we really love living what we call just outside the Disney bubble. From running into Disney legend Tom Nab, ironically, we were just shopping at Publix. He was the OG Tom Sawyer picked by Walt himself, but also just the awesome cast members that we hang out with at our go-to place, and that is over at Gators Dockside.
I know. So one of those is a friend of ours, and he is one of the bus drivers over at Disney World, and he actually invited us to be part of his cast member preview for Test Track when it reopens in a few weeks.
We are so excited for that. I know. It's like, oh, we have to wait till it opens. We know there's going to be pass holder and DVC stuff, but anyway. So a lot of stories start with while we were sitting at Gators.
I know, right?
So when we were talking to our bartender, Christy, and we were telling her, we just bought a new Tesla, and someone at the table behind us started talking to us, and I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, and it turns out that he has 2 Teslas and installed his own 240-volt charger, which is important.
It is.
And he offered to help us with ours, so that was awesome.
But here, an even more fun fact, he drives the ferry boats that run at Magic Kingdom. And we run into so many people that work for Disney. That's why we love this area.
Yeah, so if you see Captain Tim on your next trip, tell him hi. And really always treat all the cast members with respect. They are real people too.
This is true. They are not animatronics.
No, they are not.
So one of the most critical decisions that any Disney fan needs to make when coming specifically to the Orlando parks, not California, and that really is where to stay. For this show specifically, we're going to tell you why you should stay at one of the monorail resorts, which are Contemporary, Poly, and Grand Floridian. We'll even throw in Wilderness Lodge, even though it's not on the monorail, but it's a pretty unique way to get to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. So on this show, we don't want you to tune out thinking I would never stay at a monorail resort. They're too expensive. Instead, we want you to get that price talk out of your head, and we're going to focus on who these resorts are for.
I have a feeling some of you are going to answer yes to a lot of these questions. Again, it's your vacation. You should have the things that you are most interested in. So here's the fact. You'll remember the experience long after you've forgotten the price.
Yeah. And when you can find the perfect fit for your travel style and needs at Disney, you are going to immensely enjoy that experience.
So why don't we start with location? So are you planning on multiple days in Magic Kingdom? Or maybe enjoying one of the after hours events and parties that happen at that park?
So if you're going to be staying at maybe mostly Hollywood Studios and Epcot, because those are your parks, then you're probably going to want to do a Skyliner or an Epcot resort. And we're going to cover that next week. But be thinking about location to the parks that you are going to visit the most.
There are primarily 3 ways to get to Magic Kingdom from the monorail resorts: the boat, and then this is nobody knows this, the monorail, kind of the topic here. And for 2 of these resorts, you can walk right over to Magic Kingdom, Mickey's backyard.
Yeah, and to be clear, Wilderness Lodge, you have to go by boat, but it's short.
Or you can swim.
They do not want you swimming.
Okay, that is true.
That is true.
So the shortest walk is from Contemporary, but the most scenic and one you'll like probably even more is the one from Grand Floridian, where you're going to walk close to the monorail where it runs. It's a really nice walk. I love it.
Yeah. So first, be thinking about which parks you're going to visit the most,
Yeah.
and if Magic Kingdom's going to be multiple days, consider the monorail.
This show
resort.
is for you.
Now, the next question to ask yourself is, are you the type of person who has family members, maybe even yourself, that like to take a little nap or relax a bit during the day?
Well, an afternoon break or naps back to your resort is really quick and easy if you're staying at one of these monorail resorts.
Yeah. Another question is, do you like to have multiple dining options? So all the monorail resorts have a variety of dining. You have everything from pool bars with food menus to quick service to sit-down restaurants and super fancy ones. But
Yes.
having more than one option is super great on the monorail.
I remember a few times when we were over at Grand Floridian and we just went to the pool bar to get the lobster rolls.
I
Remember
know.
Those were really good.
I know. I wish they had the same ones, but anyway.
So do you want to have a cocktail at night, maybe after a long day in the park? The answer is yes. These resorts have multiple bar options, and a few of them stay open pretty late.
Yeah, that is pretty unique. Or do you want to plus it up and do a bar crawl? But at the end of your crawl, just be able to get off of the monorail
Yes.
and go straight to bed because you're at your resort.
If you want those postcard pictures of watching the fireworks from your balcony while the music is streaming live from your TV in your room, these resorts, again, are a great idea. You can even get as fancy as watching them from an overwater bungalow.
Yeah, I love the fireworks from these resorts, though, but we've stayed at all of them, and it never disappoints. Now, another thing to ask yourself is, if you have little kids, will you most likely not be staying out to see the fireworks in the parks? Because this is a great backup. So you can enjoy them, but those little ones that need to go to bed early can go to sleep.
And avoid the crowds. So especially when the shows during the summer are so late. So make sure you work with us or your travel agent to specifically book the right category for those views.
Do you want to see the electric light parade?
Yes?
These resorts are the only views other than like right outside of Magic Kingdom, but it's not the same as experiencing it from one of the monorail resorts and Wilderness Lodge.
So what about not having to leave your resort? Go to a character meal.
I know, super nice.
So all 4 have some kind of dining. There's Chef Mickey's, there's Ohana with Stitch, Snow White, and a variety of characters are also over at 1900 Park Fair over at Grand Floridian.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of stress out of a vacation when you're not like
Absolutely.
going super fast and having to get on a bus or an Uber and try to get to those early dining times because you want to have the character meal early, or maybe on your checkout date, you want to just go experience the character and then you can go back and pack after.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about space. Is having a larger bathroom important to you? We're talking 2 sinks that come with actual counter space around them. I know I like that.
That's something you and I talk about a lot. When we go, if we're not traveling with Disney, it's like, oh man, are we back to 1 sink?
Or do you need 3 beds in 1 room? These deluxe options have that with 2 queens and 1 pull down, but the size matters.
Well, also the rooms are bigger, as we probably mentioned on multiple shows, and they open to interior hallways. And the best features, there's a balcony, or if you're on the first floor, a patio. Other than some rooms at Poly on the 2nd floor, I have no idea why. There's probably some Disney Imagineering explanation. Whatever you say.
Yeah, I love a good balcony, though, on vacation. But what about if you want the option to book a club level and be right on the monorail so that you can be at Magic Kingdom, then you head back, maybe grab some snacks, head back to the park. If you want those benefits, these resorts are ideal for you.
Maybe you don't like crowds. We don't know. But especially at the end of the night when the line at Magic Kingdom to board the buses back to the resorts is very long. You have to fold up your stroller. It can take you more than 30 minutes to get back to your non-monorail resort.
Yeah, and actually more for some of those value resorts because the lines get super, super long. But also throughout the day, the monorail resort transportation is constantly running. So there's no need to check that bus board for Magic Kingdom. And then plus the early entry is super easy when you're at these resorts because you can hop right over and you're most likely able to beat other guests.
Most people are shocked by how much they can get done in that 30 minutes, the early morning hours. So everyone knows about the rope drop, but specifically at Magic Kingdom, you know about the Kiss Goodnight. That's basically, they do this about every 30 minutes. It's telling you, please go home. Or back to your resort.
Yeah, and the lines, that's when they can get a little
Absolutely.
backed
So
up.
again, if you're a Contemporary or Grand Floridian, it's just a short walk. If you're staying at Poly, smaller boats, but they run pretty often. And the same thing with Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah. So here's one more thing to ask yourself. Do you want to enjoy the spa on your vacation? So maybe it's your honeymoon or an anniversary, or maybe it's a girls' getaway, a bachelorette party. The Grand Floridian is currently the only spa at a Disney resort that's running.
I know. While we were doing this, the research for the show, I was kind of shocked. I thought they had at least 1 or 2 others back in the day.
There used to be one at Saratoga Springs, but for now, the spa over at Grand is the one that's open at one of the Disney resorts.
Which is also very easy to get to from either of the other 2 monorail resorts.
Yes. And if you feel like a monorail resort would be an ideal choice for you, consider the experience over the price. Or use one of our split stay strategies to maximize your budget.
I just did a vacation quote for Samantha working with her family, and we're talking about split stays. So this is the perfect, again, split stays are awesome. Listen to last week's show. We hope today that you learned something new about your travel style, and maybe next time you'll enjoy one of those resorts. So head on over to our social media, hopefully YouTube, and comment on this show post and let us know what your favorite thing is about the monorail resorts and why you stay there, or maybe why you would in the future.
And as always, we would love to help you plan your next adventure. So we are starting to see a rise in parents taking their adult kids on some incredible experiences. And nothing connects a family more, especially as your kids become adults and are on their own. This is a great way to have some quality time with them.
So take a short little trip over to creatingmagicvacations.com, fill out the plan a vacation form, and until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.